Okay, hello again. So where I left off in the last one, if you didn't watch it, was I basically decided I was going to cosplay for New York Comic Con, and I had decided it would be Princess Leia. When I thought about it in advance, I thought, well, maybe I could sew something together. I know most cosplayers make their own outfits, but well, partially because I just procrastinated, but I also really haven't sewed anything other than a button. Uh, Maybe junior high, I think I may have sewed a pillow, but that was a very long time ago. I don't even own a sewing machine. So as I got to the point where I was a couple days away, because I would have to buy a costume. I know I'd seen them at Target. Probably middle cosplayers would frown upon it, but it was what I was gonna have to do if I would do it. Um, so I went before work on Wednesday, uh, picked up the costume, and I knew I wasn't going to do this until Friday. I was going to go Thursday and Friday. I knew I wanted to go one day and just kind of like get my feet wet and get comfortable with it all before going there dressed up as anything, let alone Princess Leia. So I get the dress and doesn't come with the hood that she has, but it comes with a belt. But it's a cheap like sash belt. You can see where it's just like painted on or whatever, ironed on, make it look like the pieces of her belt. So that part looked cheap. The whole costume I wasn't really happy with. I mean, it was my first one, but uh, then after work Wednesday night, I remember thinking, well, now what do I wear for shoes? I need something that matches. I didn't even have white sneakers. So I was thinking, could I find, I hear people, cosplayers go to thrift shops. I remember texting my sister, you think I could find a cheap pair of white women's boots that would fit me at a thrift store? And she's like, it's possible, but probably unlikely. One thing she suggested was Walmart. They have a lot of really cheap stuff. Um, and then they have a shoe department. So I went there after work, and I managed to find a pair of boots. They were in the women's section. I don't know whether the women's or men's because the size that fit me, for the most part, was around the size I wear. Although my size fluctuates depending on the shoe. They basically look like a pair of cheap rain boots. Unfortunately, they were black. So what I had to do was spray paint them. And this was getting kind of towards the end of when Walmart was closing, and I went to the spray paint aisle, but everything's locked up. Looking for someone to help me, and it's funny. Usually when I'm in a store, I want them to leave me alone. Just let me look at my own. Now I'm looking for someone to help me, and I can't find anyone. So I just bought my stuff. I said, the next day I'll go to Home Depot and I'll spray paint them before I leave for Comic Con. I got caught up with various things. I did get the spray paint, and I got one of the boots spray painted, but I never got the second one done because I mean, I set it a lot, make sure I left on time so I wouldn't miss the train and get to the city too late. Okay, I'll do the other one when I get home. I get I got home and I had left the wet outside thinking it would dry out there. There are a few different types of paint. I never really spray painted anything before. I know one was quick dry, and one I got was something like as effective as like 2 cans or something. So I said, let me get that because I could just see myself running out halfway through, which didn't become an issue. But I got home and and the boot I had painted was still wet, and you could see it started dripping down a bit. Realizing I probably should have done half of each boot one day and light it down, but I also would have had to do more in advance, realizing how long they take to dry. So that night, I think I touched up the one and spray painted the other. I then took a hair dryer to it. I heard mixed things about whether you should do this, but I didn't have any choice. Hopefully that would dry a little, and then I had a fan which I placed on them overnight when I slept. Got up in the morning and they were still a little wet and sticky, but I had no other choice at this point. I had been up early, and so I got the boots, I got the dress, and then there's the hair. Now the package also came with this wig here, with the buttons, but I felt like, since right now I have long hair, yeah, it's relatively long, I wanted to actually do with my own hair, which is part of the reason why I picked Princess Leia, but I really haven't had long hair for very long. I mean, obviously long enough to get it to this length, but so I've really never done much other than put it in a ponytail. Someone had suggested to me what I was thinking about is she said there are things that can help you make buns. So when I picked up the costume, I picked up a couple of these things. And it wasn't going to be easy, but I looked at a video and watched people do it in 2 minutes. And man, every time I tried, it just looked horrible. I probably spent an hour or two just with each one trying to get it to look semi-decent. Finally, like, all right, this is good enough. Let me go. And I've been debating whether to drive or take the train in. For me, the train's much easier. I don't like driving in the city. Well, I have to pay train both ways. There's no tolls, no parking. And the thought was I would bring the dress with me, just wear shorts, a t-shirt, and throw the dress over. Initially, the plan had been to wear sneakers and also carry the boots with me, but the boots still being wet, I didn't want to stick them in a bag with anything. So I had to wear them, and now I'm like, well, this is gonna be a little silly. A t-shirt, shorts, these white boots, and these Princess Leia buns on the train. Although I wore a hoodie to hopefully not look as obvious. I don't know. Although that may have messed them up a little. So I got, after missing the train I initially wanted to go to, I got there, left myself some time, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm not real happy with the way the buds look, and I'm trying to play with them without actually totally taking them out. I don't know whether it was, like I said, it was the hoodie that messed them up, but it didn't look like I played with them, and in playing with them I made them worse, and I ended up taking them both out and putting them back in, and I missed the next train before I finally got it to the point I'm like, okay, I don't think it looks great, but it looks good enough, probably better than when I first left my house. So I missed the train. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drive it. I'm not waiting for the next train. So here I am driving in with wet boots. There are, in case you're wondering, there are a couple of little white paint stains in on my car. Um, and these Princess Leia buns. I get into the city, park, and then now a few blocks away. Now I have to put on the Princess Leia costume, put on the dress and the sash, belt, and walk a few blocks from my car to the convention center where they are holding Comic Con. This is a little uncomfortable. Um, even walking out of the parking lot, guy said something. I mean, was I doing? Was there Princess Leia? Is that Princess Leia? And I'm like, yeah. Like I made some joke. At least I'm not wearing the gold bikini. As you're walking, you can see a couple people walking, and even as I get close to the convention center, one of the guys, I hear somebody go, "You couldn't at least dress as a guy." Um, and walking was even tough. It's the first time I ever wore uh, a dress. Plus, I found it hard to walk, but I realized it was probably less the dress than the fact that I was wearing the dress over these wet boots that were kind of sticking to it. Uh, like anytime I wanted to grab something out of my pocket, lifting the dress up to go in my pocket. But yeah, but I finally get to the convention center. I get to Comic Con, and um, outside outside the door to go inside, and this couple stops who are dressed themselves. They were Dango and Starry Night with the TARDIS, if you know that episode of Doctor Who. And they're like, "Oh, that's awesome! Can we take a picture of you?" And all of a sudden, I realized I had a bunch of people come up to me and tell me how much I like to either ask to take their picture with me uh, or just take a picture of me, which was just weird for me. I am thinking they look horrible, and these people are asking for my picture. And as I've said, I'm comfortable with attention, and a lot of times even positive attention can even be more uncomfortable for me. But I found myself actually kind of enjoying it, uh, which is weird for me. Yeah, yeah, you go a while, no one say anything. All of a sudden, one person would stop, could take a picture, and next, you know, three other people would be asking to take the picture with you. I guess I feel like once I got there, it was almost like you're with people who kind of get it, you know. So I've always felt like when I hang out when I'm with like people that I work with or something, I'm the big geek. But when I go to some kind of comic convention, I always feel like I'm almost not geeky enough, and I kind of felt like I fit in finally this time. Uh, I remember I was going down an escalator, and there's someone coming on the up escalator, and he's like, "Hey, Princess Leia," and he sticks out his hand and high fives me, and uh, yeah, so the reaction was overwhelmingly good, and oddly enough, I was able to take the good comments more than the occasional weird things, negative comments, which there were very few of. Uh, in fact, there was one person near the end of the day who said, "Oh, you're a sexy Princess Leia," or something like that, and I thought she was being sarcastic. I mean, obviously, probably joking a little bit because, yes, I'm not a sexy Princess Leia, but I I always thought it was like a jab. But then a few minutes later, I saw her. She's like, "Can I take my picture with you?" I realized, oh, she was actually kind of being serious. I saw the woman say, I gotta take my picture with you. I've been stalking you all day. And probably one of the highlights was on the ride in. I had just finished listening to the audiobook, Felicia Day's audiobook. So I decided to wait in line for her autograph. I'm not a big autograph person, but figured, what the heck, I'm there. Uh, I get up there, I get my autograph, get an autograph picture and take a picture with her. And then she asked if she could take my picture, which just was like, I don't know, it just seemed cool to me that here's a celebrity wanting to take a picture of me. Yeah, so this was my first time cosplaying in a costume that I didn't think came out very well. Um, Stuff was sticking to the boots. I actually have them here. You can see. I mean, this is at the end. This is a couple days later where they're still sticky. Um, and to be perfectly honest, they probably weren't this bad at the convention center, but you can see because their sticky stuff is. I don't know if you can see it here. Would stick to them. There's a lot of stuff in my yard when I was walking home. I think that got on them, but I even got pain on my fingers just picking it up now. So this is days later and they're still wet. I didn't know it took that long for spray paint to dry. Yeah, but overall it was a good experience, and I think it's something I would do again. I had thought about various things I would do. Most of them involved if probably having my hair shorter. If by next summer I decide to cut my hair, which I thought was a very good possibility. But the reaction I got almost makes me think I want to do something, well, maybe even do this again, or do something similar. Do some female costume with the hair sticking out where, because I think the hair is actually what put it over the top. I saw, a few Princess Leia's, and a lot of them wore the wigs, and the fact that I used my own hair, even though it was padded a little with these things, not only did it help make the bun, it made them look bigger. But yeah, for someone who, even a year ago would have thought I'd probably never cosplay, I did it, and really it made the experience of the day that much more fun. So that's uh, my day and experience with cosplay. If anyone watches, thanks for watching. Yeah, goodbye.